Day 2 of the Kohlrabi Grow-A-Long. Today I want to talk a little bit before we do the watering about watering and how you should be watering your plants. Microgreens should have a fine mist spray, and as you can see, this spray is a very fine mist. I actually have this tightened down as far as I can to create a very fine mist. A fine mist helps the plants a lot with germination. It allows not to pool any watering onto the pads, which might cause rot and stuff like that if the seeds are too wet in that certain area. Also, I sanitize this sprayer every 30 days. I break it all the way down, I take off the end pieces, I clean it all out. I take out the inside here and clean it all out and sanitize it down with hydrogen peroxide. I run hydrogen peroxide through the sprayer unit itself and clean it really well every 30 days. If any algae or anything builds up in the meantime inside this bucket, I'll sanitize it again. But I also label everything every time I get done sanitizing it, so as I know when I sanitize it and when it needs to be sanitized again. So I'll be breaking this down again next week and cleaning it and sanitizing it. Sanitation is key to having a pristine grow operation. Okay, so now we're going to do the watering for day 2. I want to make sure also that I'm fully pumped of my sprayer and that it's about ready to release. That's pretty well pumped up. I'm going to get a fine mist, as you can see there. I just want to make sure that it's fully pumped. If it's not fully pumped as well, I'm not going to get a fine mist. I'm going to get a dripping and a much harder spray than if it's not fully pumped. I'd like to thank everybody for their feedback on yesterday's post on day 1. I appreciate all the posting. This is a one-man operation. I wish I could figure out how, and maybe I will, how to automate the zooming and stuff on here so I can see and zoom in a little bit easier with the camera. As you can see from the day before, the styrofoam is still nice and moist. Okay, so that means I watered it really nicely and it created a very nice moisture barrier inside the tray here. Over here you can see that I have a little bit of an issue with some seeds from the water sloshing back and forth, and all I'm going to do is spread out those seeds a little bit back to where they should be. This is because I grabbed the tray too fast, and the residual water that's in the tray, as you can see, there's some water in the tray from yesterday. This is fine as long as the pads aren't floating around, but what happened is that water washed up onto the pads right here and pushed them over a little bit. So I just readjusted that. I have a little bit more over here that I need to adjust. Got a little bit in a hurry putting it up on the shelf yesterday. Okay, so again, like yesterday, it's a 30-second Earl Schreiber paint job. So it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for 30 seconds. Okay, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you can hear that there's a very fine mist spray going on inside the tray. So that's about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds and a little bit more. Now I do have a little bit of an issue here, being we're using the bamboo here, but some of the bamboo slipped down and the pad is kind of drooping, so I want to fix that. So I'm going to go ahead and lift up the pad on this side here with these tweezers and move this bamboo stick down so as now the pad is sitting flat. I don't want the pad drooping down into the water, soaking up too much moisture, because then this part here is going to get too wet and the pad will be too moist and it could cause rot or not a very good germination rate. So that's all done, nice and pristine, looks great. Everything looks fantastic inside the tray. We're starting to get a little bit of germination with the seeds where you can see with the lighter colors. So now I'm going to spray the lid for 10 seconds. And this is with the bamboo. I'm going to bring down the tray also with the hydro spacers in it to show you how that's working out as well. So now I'm going to put this back up on the germination rack. I'm going to grab the other tray with the hydro spacers in it. And here you can see too, the pad is still, the top is still nice and moist. There's water droplets on it. Everything looks really nice. When I look down inside the tray here, everything looks fantastic. I still have the little bit of an issue over here that I sloshed the water around a little bit too much when I was putting it up on the tray, up on the germination rack. So you should take care when you're putting it up on the germination rack. Yesterday I was in a little bit of a hurry, moving things around. It was my first filming for our Grow-A-Long, so I was a little excited about doing that. But you can see everything looks pretty good. So I'm going to give it a nice 30 seconds of watering. Back and forth, up and down, back and forth. Yeah, and I know it's much easier to do this on the rack, to stick your wand up under the shelving on the rack and water your microgreens up on the rack. But I'm telling you, if you water up on the rack, you're not going to get a full watering like we do here, back and forth, because if you think about it, when it's up on the rack, the lid is sitting here. What normally happens when it's on the rack is people stick their wand in here like this and give it a quick watering like this. Yeah, I know, you're thinking, yeah, that's what I do. Okay, back and forth. You don't get the same watering as when you take it down and you bring it down to the table and you inspect it. Now you're gonna get a really nice microgreen this way. Watering up on the rack, and it could be hit or missed. So I always bring it down to the thing and inspect it, make sure everything is okay. Everything looks great. That was 30 seconds of watering. Now I'm gonna give a 10-second spray on the lid, and you can see I'm still getting that very, very fine mist spray, and you can actually hear it when it's a fine mist. Okay, so now I'm going to put the lid back on, put it up on the rack, and we're done for the day with watering for day 2 of the Kohlrabi Microgreen Grow-A-Long. And again, you want that fine mist. Have a great day and happy growing.